This man just broke the podcast game forever, but before that, he was just a nightclub promoter who was bullied in school. But before becoming a millionaire and being able to afford the Star Wars technology, he was also trying to be a reality TV star, but failed and decided to risk everything to pursue the business that would ultimately make him one of the most famous podcasters in the world. This is the strategy he followed. Chris Williamson was about to study business at Newcastle University. However, things weren't going well for him. He had been bullied at school for a long period of time, and he didn't have a lot of self-esteem. This insecurity made him want to be different and adopt a more extroverted personality. In his first seminar at college, he met Darren, and they both decided to become nightclub promoters to earn some money. This was his first strategy, entering into a business by providing a service for clubs and retaining a commission. And he was good at it. For years, he had been studying how to be an extroverted person, and he discovered that a huge part of being likable is how you dress and how attractive you are. So from that moment on, his life consisted of going to the gym and filling nightclubs, with university being more of a secondary thing. Luckily for him, the company was a success. He got more than 1 million people into clubs, and after completing his international marketing degree, he dedicated himself exclusively to that lifestyle. However, there was a huge problem. This lifestyle required him to arrive home really late, and on top of that, he started to drink at parties, causing him to have really long hangovers. The lifestyle was so bad that he thought he was depressed, but he kept going and he implemented his next strategy, expanding his business. And to do that, he went on the dating show Take Me Out. His plan was to become famous and to use that fame to attract more clients to the clubs. This plan was successful, and a new opportunity arose 3 years later. A reality TV show called Love Island about 23-year-old attractive contestants stranded for 6 weeks in a villa, and he accepted. By turning into a TV celebrity, more people would want to go to his clubs, and that way he would be able to earn even more money. However, he failed. He soon found out that his extroverted party boy persona wasn't who he really was, and that he didn't really belong there. He realized that, on top of other things, the bullying that he suffered when he was young made him wish people needed him and made him want to become that famous boy that everyone knew on campus. He was pretending to be someone that he wasn't, and so he was voted out on day 19. This was a huge problem for him. He had an existential crisis and he needed to reinvent himself as soon as possible. He needed answers, and so when you need answers, you need to ask the right questions to the right people. So his next strategy was genius. He noticed that long-form content was starting to gain popularity in the form of podcasts. He really liked them, and so he decided to start Modern Wisdom in 2018. But things didn't go as planned. You see, even though he was on TV, he was a nobody, and so naturally no one would want to listen to him. But his experience already taught him something. The celebrity route wasn't for him. So instead of being the main character, he decided to interview other people and document it. That was the real strategy, to document. In fact, the podcast subtitle is Life Lessons from the Smartest People on the Planet. After the 19th episode, he and his buddy decided to put the podcast on YouTube. They were able to monetize it, and the first year he earned £25. But don't worry, because the next year they earned a couple of hundred. Well, there was clearly a problem here. He wasn't making any money. This is usually where most people decide to quit. He had spent 2 years on a project and nothing important was going on, but instead of quitting, he decided to change his mindset. And so in 2020, he decided to apply his next strategy, to view his hobby as a job. He started doing 3 episodes a week, improved his speech abilities with coaches, and started to seek bigger guests. And everything changed in 2021 after he did some networking when he was able to interview Jordan Peterson, who was really popular at that time. And so suddenly, his subscribers and downloads on YouTube started to grow exponentially until reaching more than 2 million subscribers. His popularity allowed him to interview more important people such as Alex Hormozy, Joe Dispenza, Eric Weinstein, and more. But that's not all. Ironically, after changing careers and deciding to interview people instead of trying to be famous, he became famous himself. So much so that he was a guest on the most popular podcast in the entire world, the Joe Rogan podcast, where people like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, or Tarantino have appeared. And it was thanks to this that he was able to be the very first podcaster to use the Mandalorian technology to record a podcast by using a huge video wall with changing images that change as he talks with his guests. And so with this, Chris Williamson's estimated net worth is around $3 to $4 million, from being a party boy to becoming a millionaire by talking to people. But his story is not the most surprising one. You should check this other one out and follow me to learn how other people got rich so you can too.